Hello everyone, welcome to the first part of the NX tutorials. My name is Fawad, and today together we will go through the first section of these video tutorials that I will prepare. Um, I'm a lead mechanical engineer at VDL ETG TND here in the Netherlands, and we work at a consortium of ASML and VDL ETG. I am also a PhD candidate at Surgical Robotics Laboratory, University of Twente. I'm still not a doctor, but very soon, hopefully, I will become a father. The reason I'm making these tutorials is, first of all, I want to learn, and the best way to learn is to try to teach others. And secondly, I want to also share. I believe the more we share as a community, the better we get. Unfortunately, the quality of the video tutorials I have found on YouTube and other social media, they're not really up to the standard, let's say, and many of them are for the older or even deprecated versions of NX. Um, Here in the Netherlands, NX, Siemens NX is the de facto CAD, CAE, and CAM software, especially in lithography industry. If you're familiar with ASML or its supply chain, Siemens NX is the de facto standard CAD software. First of all, a little bit of disclaimer. All views, anything I say in this video tutorials are my personal opinions, and they are not in any way related to my previous, current, or future employees. I assume no responsibility. I might have a lot of mistakes in these tutorials. Please use them in your own responsibility, and be careful. Um, I might have used some copyrighted material in these video tutorials. I have tried my best not to do so, but if in any case, if there are any copyrighted material, it is your responsibility to make sure you do not use them without copyright notice. And then this tutorial itself, any material I have created, they are open source. You are free to share them as or change them as far as you do not use this for commercial purposes, or and I would appreciate if you would also refer to the source of the materials. I should acknowledge that during this first tutorial I will replicate some designs by this YouTube channel called Siemens NX Tutorials. Please go ahead. I will share this PowerPoint file. Please go ahead, find them on the internet, and yeah, try to give them a little bit of love, subscribe, and yeah, follow them on social media if you like. In this section, in this first part of the tutorials, we will learn a little bit about basic NX GUI layout, so the general graphical user interface of NX. We will create a monopart, or as Siemens prefers to call them, a model. This monopart is specifically the language that ASML and its supply chain use for the non-assembly parts, let's say. We will draw some sketches. I like to give you some hints about keyboard shortcuts because I believe it's a very efficient way of doing CAD. Some people do not believe so, but this is my personal opinion. And then I will show you how to use expressions to have a fully parametric design. Not fully, mostly parametric design as much as possible. Here on the right, you see the general overview of the design that we will go through together today. So if you don't have NX a license provided to you by your company or by your university or stuff, Siemens has been very generous to offer a student version of NX, and that's the version I will use today. I have licenses from ASML and VDL, but that's not what I'm going to use. I will use the student version. the student edition, and you can easily search it on the internet over here. For example, if you search NX student version, this is probably the first or the second result you can download, and you can use it, if I'm not mistaken, for 6 months or 1 year, and then later you can also renew your license. Um, so if you open NX for the first time, especially if you have the student version, you see your UI is probably like this. It's very simple. You don't see many things, many toolbars. Everything is hidden. But make sure you come here in the roles section, and then you select advanced. Ignore this; it doesn't really matter. I want to show you the keyboard shortcuts, so pay attention to the keys I press over here. For example, if I press A, you see A, B, and everything else. So be careful. Also, if I press Control A, you can see Control or Alt A, things like that. You can see over here on the right bottom section of the screen. So without further ado, let's open a new part. Of course, you can open from here, but the keyboard shortcut for that is Control N. So this might be a little bit different depending on what version of NX are you using, or maybe if you're using the same version as I'm using right now, so it should be pretty much similar. But if your company is providing you with an NX license, you should probably see more or less templates here. One point you should consider is, unlike SolidWorks, where assemblies and parts are intrinsically different, in NX there is no such a thing. So basically, models are .part files, assemblies are the same, sheets are the same, even drawings are .part files. The only difference is when you open any of these templates, certain let's say applications and tools have been made available to you right away, and all of those tools you can also access in different ways. Just for your information, the version of NX I'm using right now is version 1911, and of course it's a student version. So we'll start a new mono part. As I said, the ASML language is mono part. Be careful if you are using an NX license provided by your company. Most probably it's connected to Teamcenter or another PLM PDM software. So be careful where exactly you create this part, and then you need to assign it to a new project. So things might be a little bit different, but be careful. I'm using a student version. So again, because we selected the modeling, the model template over here, right over here, you see the modeling ribbon is shown, is displayed over here. If this is not the case, I don't know, for any reason, make sure first of all you have the roles set to advanced, and then over here in the application menu bar, you choose the modeling application. So let's go back to the design we will work on today. One good point to consider is there are no best way to implement a CAD design. There are most certainly better and worse methods. And today I will try to give you some best practices I have learned during the last, let's say, 20, 30 years, no, really 20 years of my CAD work. So over here, you see probably a very good point is whenever you design anything, you need to consider how this will be manufactured. But in this case, we will not go through those details. We'll start with this base part, with this base block, and then we will implement this wall over here, and then we will from there we will go, and then we will create more features, as we can see over here. So let's go to NX. We need to create a block of 64 to 96 with a depth of 16. So here on NX, you can come here, press a sketch to create a sketch, or you can start from extrude, and then it gives you the possibility to create a sketch. I personally prefer to create a sketch. There are no keyboard shortcuts by default for keyboard for a sketch. You can assign if you want, but it doesn't really matter. You can select over here any dot on plane if you have any, or the default dot on planes. I will select the X and Y, and then I press OK. So as said here, we want to have a block of 96 to 64. So right here, please pay attention to the keyboard shortcuts I use over here. I want to select rectangle, but instead of coming and using this one, moving my mouse here, I just simply press R, and it gives me the possibility to create rectangles with different ways. I will use the simple by 2 point. A good tip is always pay attention at the Q bar and Q line and the status line, or the down here. Those two places are where NX tries to talk back to you. For example, it tries to give you hints of what it expects next. And then also NX, if you see there is a box following the mouse, and then in that box you can always specify the different information about what NX expects. For example, over here right now, NX expects the first select the first point of the rectangle. So I can come here, select the origin if I want, but I can also specify 0 and then 0. Yeah. And then I can again come and draw. I can come and draw something by mouse, but then I can also specify 96, and then 64, and then 96, just like that. Of course, you can place it in different quarters, but then we want to put it in the first quarter. NX tries to be smart, but it usually, even if you do not specify the dimensions manually, it auto-dimension things. I personally find this a little bit, let's say, invasive. Time to time, I find myself stuck somewhere, and the reason it happens is because NX tries to let's say impose some dimensions on me, and I don't like it. You can turn it off, but yeah, it's really handy. So right now you can come here and press finish if you want, but it's nicer if you press Control Q, and it automatically quits the sketch. And then as also, whenever you are you want to see the sketch in isometric, or yeah, if you want to see the sketch in isometric, you just press the end button. Yeah, just like that. And then right now we want to extrude this sketch. I can come here and press extrude, but I press X, and then it's better to make sure that you don't have anything selected, and then press X, and then select the curve you want. Also pay attention if time to time you might, for example, the previous time you were designing or extruding something, you might have selected the wrong options up here. You can always press reset here just to be sure that you are back to the default options. Whenever you are stuck, for example, you expect the whole line to be selected, but you press it and then you see only one line is extruded. You come here, you press reset, and then it goes back to insert curves. Of course, in this case, you can also select connected curves or region. Yeah, you can also select region instead of selecting the curve. This is very handy if you want. Go ahead, play with this in your pace, and then you'll find it pretty handy. But for now, we just go with the default. We select the line around here, and you want to pad it with 16, as you can see down here. So we type 16 right here, yeah, and then we press OK. Now we go to this feature right. Oops. Now we go to this feature up here. I'm assuming the coordinate system is like this. Oh, there's something wrong with my drawing pad. Yeah, there's certainly something wrong with my drawing pad, but it doesn't matter. So the width of this this wall over here is same as the width of that tab we just created, and then the height of it is 64. One good tip is if you want to use fillet to create this round shape up here, leave the fillets after you finish the design. And then another good point is try not to implement the fillets and chamfers in sketches. Rule of thumb: leave the detailed designs to the end after you have designed the major part of your design. So we'll select again a sketch. We'll select this wall and pay attention. NX tries to be smart and then select the origin of your sketch and then the coordinate system. It doesn't really matter if your geometry is not very complicated, but be careful. Time to time, the CAD engine might get confused. For now, we just go with the default. And then if you just notice what happened, NX realized that when the point we clicked, there are multiple options. For example, there is a YZ plane, the face of extrude. So if you are in a very complicated design and you don't know exactly which face you want to select, you can right click and then select from list. Yeah, you can easily select from list. For now, if you come here instead of over here when there are too many, let's say, features, if you select over here, it can easily detect it, and then press OK. Now what we want to do is, again, whenever you start a sketch, by default, NX starts a profile. Yeah, be careful. Just press escape whenever you are confused or there are issues. Press escape or press middle mouse. Both of them try to finish or end the current procedure. At this moment, you just want to create a rectangle. Again, a simple rectangle, 2 point. One point is here. The other point is up here. So if you notice, we want the width of this, let's say, flange. It's not really a flange, but this wall to be exactly the same as this tab we just created. So one way to do it is just to double click on this. These are the automatic dimensions created by NX. So what we can do, we can double click on this guy and specify 64. This is one way, of course, to do it, but this is not really this is not a good practice. And the reason is, if you later want to change the width of this extrude, then this one doesn't change as well. It depends on your design intent. Maybe you want to design a path. Maybe you don't want this width and this width to be connected to each other. But the chances are that most probably you want. And in that case, it's better to constrain your sketch to the features, to the points, edges, anything you can find in your CAD so far. And to do so, you can come up here. Yeah, they have changed the index a little bit. Oh, by the way, if you don't know something, you can always come here in the search bar over here, and then constraints. You can search it, and then anyway, what you can do is just you can use the keyboard shortcut for the constraints. It's C. Whenever you press C, this is what you see. It's probably too much too complicated at this moment. So basically, if you don't want to use these constraints, what you can do, you can just come here, select this this line, and then select this edge as well, and then NX immediately shows you some hits. And in this case, you want this to be collinear. But if you don't, for any reason, you don't see that, you can just press the C button when you are in the sketch, and then it's a good practice to select automatic selection progression. I don't know why it's called that way. And in this case, you want the collinear geometric constraint, and then we select that line, and then this edge, and then boom, it goes to that point. And then for this dimension, basically we will use whatever provided by the and then it's 64. Another tip is if you notice the width of this guy is 64 and the height is also 64. So there is a possibility that, again, depending on your design intent, you want these two parameters to be parametrically connected. In this case, you can always come back to the expressions. The way it works is I press Control E, and then the way it works is that I press Control E, and then it opens the expressions panel. So over here, basically, what we can do is we can specify here, for example, P0 or P0 divided by 2, things like that. We can always change these things. In this case, we don't want to connect them together. We just specify it as it is. Right now, again, we press Control Q, and then what happened? I believe I made a mistake here. It's 64. Yeah, now it's okay. And then we press X. We select the guy we want. Now, if you see, it's NX tries to be a smart, and then it extrudes the sketch in the opposite direction as the current solid part over here. And that's not what we want. We want this to go this way. Of course, there will be a little bit of overlap between the current extrude and the previous extrude. It doesn't really matter. And then what else you need to be careful is over here, you want to unite these two together. If you do not select this, the chances are most probably NX is a smart. NX can do that can detect it automatically, but it's safer if you specify it. And then over here, you can select the solid body you want to unite with. And then the distance over here are 16. Right here, this is a good point. If you have noticed, the height of this guy is 16, and then the width of this guy is also 16. So the chances are that you want these two parameters to be parametrically connected. So we come here, and then we select formula, and it automatically opens the expressions panel for us. So that if you see that P3 is what we want over here, and then we press OK. Yeah, and then again we press OK over here. Again, if you want to go to isometric view, you press the end button or the home button. They are pretty similar. And now we go to the rest of the features. First, we go over here. We create this block over here, and then this rip over here, and then this cut over here. Let's start. Let's start with this. We select this face where we want to draw our sketch. It's always better, even if you are in the sketch mode, try to make it a little bit 3D to be sure that you do not select the wrong points or edges. For example, if you want to select this edge, chances are that you might select this edge by mistake. And usually nothing bad happens, but it's better that if you want to draw on this face, you select edges and points and other features that are already on this face. Again, there are different ways possible to draw this sketch, but the way we will do it is we'll draw a rectangle. We start from this point. Oh, we selected the wrong point. We start from this point. We go up here. Again, it automatically dimensions the rectangle for us. The dimensions we want are 28, and then 28, 8, 8, 16, and it's 14, 40, and 28. So this one is 40. $28, and then close. And then right here in the middle, we want to create a circle. We could also create an arc, but it's easier to create a circle and then trim it. Unlike other, let's say, tools over here, for example, arc starts, the shortcut for arc is A, the shortcut for line is L, the shortcut for rectangle is an R. However, the shortcut for circle is an O, because if you press C, the constraint panel, the geometric constraints panel comes up. So if you want to create a circle, press O, and then for profile, you need to press Z. Yeah, other things. Not everything has a shortcut in it. So we press O, we come here. Again, NX is pretty smart. It can show you if you hover your mouse over the line and pretty close to the middle of the line, that's very exactly, we have a symmetry over here. Basically, this is in the middle of this line. So if you hover your mouse and then select the middle of the point, and then for the diameter, you need to select 24. You need to 24. Now, what we can do is we can trim this part, and if you pay attention to the status bar over here, it tells you that your sketch is fully constrained. Now, to trim it, you can of course come up here and select trim, but I use the keyboard shortcut. Pay attention to here. I press T, and then I start from outside or inside. In most cases, it doesn't really matter, and then I draw a line. The same for over here. I start from somewhere and draw a line, and then press close. Just be careful whenever you trim something. Time to time, NX might not be able to fully constrain back your sketch, but in this case, it succeeds. No, actually, it didn't succeed. Yeah. So what happened is it doesn't know exactly how to place this circle. So this is a nice moment to use another geometry constraint. Basically, we will use the equal length, and then we select this line, and then this line, close. Yeah, the sketch is luckily fully constrained again. We go outside. We make sure nothing is selected. The width of this guy. So as you can see over here, the width of this feature is not precise, is not specified. But what we have over here is that the distance between this face and this face is 22. By the way, we have no dimensions here. I chose inch, but over here in the Netherlands we use millimeter. And then 64 minus 22, yeah, basically it is 42. So we come back over here, we press X, we select the sketch we want to, yeah. Again, NX tries to be smart. We change the direction, and then we select 42. And then we make sure this one is unite as NX expects. Now we come over here and create this wall. The good point is we have all the features we need, so no reason to select anything else. So one good point, one good tip, let's say, is now we want to add a rib right here. So if you pay attention to this point, there are both a sketch and a solid over here. Usually, sketches are preferred over let's say over solid features, and the reason is solid parts are prone to detailed design changes. For example, you might want to add a chamfer right here on this edge, or I don't know, add a fillet right here. So this point will be lost some point during your detailed design. And if you can select the edge, it's always preferred. The edge from the sketch is always preferred. So we come back, we select the sketch, we select this face. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, this one. And then actually, profile is a good option. Here we want to draw multiple lines, but what I want to do is I want to show you what's the benefit of selecting from a list. Of course, it's a horrible long list. So as you can see, I want to select the endpoint of the sketch. I could also select the endpoints of the extrude, but I prefer to select the endpoint of the sketch. And then, yeah, for the other end, we don't have an option, so we will select the edge of the extrude, the point of at the edge of the extrude. And over here again, we have the option to select from a list. Yeah, this should be fine. And then we go back to the first point. Again, over here, I can press escape or just press the middle mouse button twice, and then it finishes the current procedure. We quit, and then we extrude this guy in the other direction, and the width is 12. Next, we come to that cutout over here. So we select this face. What we can do is we can create. Yeah, of course, we could draw multiple lines and then draw an arc, but it's easier if you draw a rectangle and draw a circle. Press O. And then we trim this guy. Oh, we trim this guy, and what we need to make sure is another good point is there is a keyboard shortcut for dimensioning. You can also come here, but the keyboard shortcut is D. And then what you select, we come here, we select this line, and we select this line, and the distance between the two is 16. Oh, you need to place it first. Yeah, 16. The width of this notch is also 16. So this auto dimension, we double click on it, and then we type 16. Oh, a good point, we just realized that these two points are not constrained by default together. So we come here, we press C, and then we select the point. Yeah, coincidence. Oh, sorry, coincidence. And then we select the first point, second point, and bam. Another constraint we want to apply is the tangent constraint. So we select this circle, and then we select this line, and then they are constrained nicely to each other. And then the height of this notch is 20. It's from the center. 20. Okay, this point is also, so what I saw is that the sketch was not fully constrained. As I said before, whenever you trim something, be careful. It might look like that your sketch is fully constrained, but in reality, it is not. So we come here, we select the coincident constraint, and then we select this point, and then the other point right up here. And then, yeah, right now our sketch is fully constrained. So we press Control Q, no, sorry, Control Q to come out of the sketch, and then we select the extrude tool, and then we select the sketch you want to cut from. So what you need to notice here is that this time we select the subtract button, and then we go the other way. And instead of specifying the depth, what we will do, because this cut over here is a throughout cut, it goes all over that bottom plate. So we come here, we select, instead of a value, we say just through all. And time to time, you might, before pressing this apply or OK, because thing might end up broken, you can show results, and then it show you how it might, what you will have at the end if you press OK. And then in this case, this is fine for us, so we will press OK and come out. Next, you want to implement that chamfer, this fillet we have over here in NX. It's called, they're called edge blend. I don't really know why, but they are called edge blend, or in the previous versions, I believe they were called round or something. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But we'll select edge blend. We come here, we select this edge, and then the radius we want is 48. That's a peculiar, very long radius for a fillet. Usually you don't use fillet for such a big, radius, but anyway, you press OK. So what you have over here is your sketches, your solid, everything is right here. It might be a little bit messy. So at this point, what you can do is you can just show and hide the parts you need, and then to do so, you can press Control W, and then it shows you the show and hide panel, and then you just hide everything, and then select solid bodies, and then you have this nicely only seeing your, if you want to see only also the sketches, then you can also come and select all, or you can just select the sketches over here. If I can find the sketches, they are right here, and everything else. In this case, we just want to show solid bodies. Another way to do that is just come to your navigator. So basically, you have the assembly navigator, the constraint, assembly constraint navigator. But this is, if you're working on a mono part, chances are this is the place you want to be, the part navigator. And then in the part navigator, you can show and hide everything as you want. So let's go back to our presentation to see if there are more points to discuss for today. Yeah. Thank you for listening. This is the end of this tutorial. Hopefully we will be working on more tutorials very soon. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.